формирование творческой личности в процессе проектирования обучения иностранным языкам, создания оптимальных условий для раскрытия интеллектуального потенциала учащихся. Основной тезис современного понимания метода проектов – это все, что я познаю, я знаю. Для чего мне это надо и где, и как я могу эти знания применить. Значит, сколько людей, столько идей. Кто-то это видит как проект, кто-то как проектный метод, проектное обучение, проектная деятельность, проектная работа, проектная методика, проектные формы, проектные технологии и так далее. С чего все начиналось? Проектная технология – это совокупность приемов действий учащихся в их определенной последовательности для достижения поставленной задачи, решения определенной проблемы, значимой для учащихся, оформленной в виде некого конечного продукта. Проект – это самостоятельно планируемая и реализуемая школьниками работа, в которой речевое общение вплетено в интеллектуально-эмоциональный контекст другой деятельности. Активное внедрение проектного метода преподавания английского языка в последнее время широко стало использоваться. Значит, какие существуют проекты? Мини-проекты, информационные проекты, ролевые, творческие. Вот как реализуется метод проекта в нашей школе. We shall begin with the warming up with Алексей Михайлович.
I want to present you this task as a warming up exercise, usually. And it may be leading in the project, in doing project. Well, first of all, I want to attract your attention to a very nice person. His name is Benjamin Zander. You may find him in YouTube because he's a famous musician, and he's invited to top managers forums, seminars, and even delivers lectures for our leaders. I mean, in Davos and in such meetings, for example. First of all, I would like you to listen to him and to watch. It's only 2 minutes, and it is leading up.
I want to tell you one about one of them right now. I came home from class one day, and I said to Roz, who is my partner and my coach, Roz, I said, what can we do? What can we do? These students are so anxious, they're so concerned, they're so worried about the auditions, about the grades and that they're getting, and the competitions, and they're so anxious they cannot take the risks with their lives that they need to take in order to be great artists. What can we do? And she came up with this beautiful idea, and this is what I do, and I'll share with you exactly how it works. I come into my class at the beginning of the year, and I have 40 students or so in the room, and I say to them, your grade is an A. That is your grade for the rest of the year. You are an A student. And there's one condition. You have to write me a letter in the first 2 weeks, which is dated at the end of May when the class ends. Right? So the date at the top is May of the next year, and the letter must begin like this. Dear Mr. Zander, I got my A because. You then have to write a letter which is written, as it were, in the following year, and describes who you will have become at the end of the year. And when I come into the room, they write about who they would be and who they could be, who they see themselves as if only the voice would stop telling them they can't do it. And when I come into the class, the person I teach is the person that they have described in their letter. You see, I only take A students.
You understand, yes? Where at the end of the school year, but you started at the beginning of the school year, and they should write such kind of letter. Dear teacher, I got my 10th grade. He said that A grade. Well, 10th grade. I didn't take 12, but at least 10. At least. So, because I would like you to write at least 3 points. Why I got my 10th grade.
This is our letter. Dear teacher, I've got my 10th grade because first, I watch TV and use the internet and read newspapers daily. That's why I need to improve my English. Second, I have a pen friend in the United States, and sometimes I don't understand him properly, but I need to understand him. And the third, I've got my 10th grade only because I'm a lucky one.
So, dear teacher, I got my 10th grade because, first of all, at the very beginning I was very ambitious and I was sure I can get this one.
Self-motivation.
Yeah, the second, we followed your instructions. I think so. And the third, I was very persistent. So just naturals and breeds. It's not connected with something material.
As for other group, we decided to match such points as I received my 10th grade because I am a hard-working person. I did my best on all the assignments. I had a great desire to learn as much as possible, and I use this information for internet and listening to music.
Thank you very much.
British Media Observer. This is my constant work. I have just came from London, so I will make you to be acquainted with media in Britain. But before watching the video, while watching which you will work with some tasks, you will do different tasks, I want to ask you several questions. So the population of Britain is 59 million. How many people do you think read a newspaper every day? So what are your ideas? Please, say.
50 million.
Please, Vicky, what about you?
I think that 50 million reading newspapers every day.
Maybe 50 millions. Other ideas?
I think 5.
5 millions.
5 million.
Okay. Maybe you'll, not maybe, but certainly you will know the definite answer. So, how many British newspapers do you know? 1 or 2? Tell me the names. I mean, the Times, what else? Chris, what about you?
I don't know any British newspapers.
You don't read British newspapers? Okay.
I know American. Yeah.
Julia, what about you?
Yes, I did.
The Sunday, the Sun. You may watch only several of them. The Sun, the Daily Mirror, Daily Express, the Daily Telegraph, the Guardian, the Independent, the Times, and many other names you will know and you will watch. Next, what differences are there between these newspapers? First of all, what two kinds of newspapers, what two groups can be divided? Tabloids and quality papers. What are the differences between these two types? Please. Size. What about the constant? What is content? What about content? Information is the same?
No.
No.
Quality newspapers maybe more
more serious articles.
newspapers then.
Where can you read a newspaper without touching any paper? In the internet, of course, online. And you can see this. This man maybe has known very surprising news from the internet. Do you know the names of any British television stations? BBC One. So the BBC One, the BBC Two, and here is the list of different British channels. On average, how much television do you think most British people watch every week? On average, how much time? Yes, a week.
8 maybe.
8 hours.
8.
I say 15.
15. types of newspaper, television and radio stations in Britain. You will see and you will watch. What am I talking about? You have a couple of minutes only.
So, newspapers can be, as we think, national, quality, popular, local, tabloid.
Thank you. What about you?
And we have that newspapers can be also broadsheet.
Broadsheet also? Yes, it's true.
Commercial.
What about television?
Television stations can be national, satellite, cable, popular, terrestrial, local and commercial.
That is right. And your turn now about radio stations. Yes.
Radio stations can be national, popular, local and commercial.
That is right. Very well. Well done. Now it's high time to watch the video.
Hi, we're going to look at the media in Britain. We're going to find out about television, radio and the internet. But first, what do you know about British newspapers and magazines? The British love their newspapers. 2 out of 3 British people over the age of 15 read a newspaper every day. That's about 26 million people. Even more people read a paper on Sundays. What do they read? The 2 most popular daily newspapers are tabloids, The Sun and The Mirror. Over 3.5 million people buy The Sun every day, and over 2.25 million buy The Mirror. In tabloid papers, you'll find more gossip, more human interest stories, more pictures, and not very much serious news. These newspapers are larger. They're called broadsheets or quality papers. About 1 million people buy the Daily Telegraph, and about 700,000 buy the Times. There's also the Independent and the Guardian. In these papers, you'll find more news, more serious articles, and fewer pictures. Altogether, there are about 130 daily and Sunday papers in Britain, some national, some local. There are also over 6,500 different magazines. Of course, nowadays, not everyone actually buys a newspaper. Some people read their newspaper online. Over 75,000 people visit this website every day. The number of people in Britain who use the internet is increasing all the time. A lot of people also listen to the news on the radio.
BBC Radio 4, the news at 7 o'clock. The Chancellor, Gordon Brown.
The BBC is the British Broadcasting Corporation. It has 5 national radio stations, 39 local stations, and 2 terrestrial television channels. The BBC is not commercial. There's no advertising during their programmes. British people have to buy a television licence every year. The BBC uses the money from this to make television and radio programmes. Here they're filming Middlemarch, the classic novel by George Eliot. There are 3 other terrestrial TV channels. There's ITV, that's independent television, Channel 4 and Channel 5. These are all commercial and have advertising. Of course, there's satellite and cable TV too. There are lots of satellite and cable channels. On average, British people watch almost 24 hours of television a week. Most households have at least one television, and 46% of British children have a television in their bedroom. How often do you watch TV?
Nearly every day.
Quite a lot, every night. Usually I watch television every night.
I watch it for about 2 hours a day, not very much.
Each day I watch an hour of television.
What's your favourite programme?
My favourite programme is Neighbours.
My favourite programme is The Simpsons.
I like sport, mainly on television, football, rugby.
My favourite programmes are the soap operas like EastEnders.
My favourite programmes are EastEnders, The Simpsons and Friends. My favourite programme's MTV.
My favourite programmes are Friends and The Simpsons.
What are you going to watch tonight?
Tonight I'm going to watch Neighbours and Friends.
Tonight I'll probably